This one time, I was training this Tongan elder in one of the islands, and we're kind of out on our own, and our water supply had cut off because of we don't know why. But we didn't have any water for about 4 days, and we'd have water storage, and we drank all of that too, so we ran out of water. So we knew there was this water source up in the mountains by a member's house, and so one Sunday night after church and after proselyting, we got coconuts and cut them open and drank those and realized it's not worth the effort to try to drink coconuts all the time. So packed up some bottles in our packs and we hiked a little over an hour hike, and we went to this water source and filled them all up and put them in our bags and hiked back, and did that a couple of times to make sure we always had water. But we were always going to be okay though. If that didn't work out, we had a senior couple that wasn't that far away, and they would have been able to come up and make sure we had some drinking water. But that was pretty fun. I don't know, I was never worried about it. It was just fun to have to go hike and get our drinking water. So one time in Tuvalu, it rained, didn't stop raining for 27 hours, and I guess there was over a foot of measured rainfall, so the whole place was just flooded. During the nighttime, the thunder and lightning was so loud, I was pretty sure it was the second coming, but it didn't happen. But that was probably the craziest weather. Almost got attacked by a dog a couple dozen times. You just reach down for a rock, and they're trained, they've been hit by enough rocks that they'll run away. So one time in Tuvalu, I was trying to say peace, and the pronunciation, I stressed the wrong vowels, and I guess it came out as like the F word, and that was pretty bad. And all the members just stood there like their faces were blank, and my companion jabbed me in the ribs, and he's like, "Elder Brower!" I was like, "What?" Because I didn't know what I was doing. I'd only been there like a month, but that was pretty bad. That was probably the worst mistake I ever made. One of the most powerful life lessons I learned was to not worry about the material things, to recognize that the things that are most important, the things that matter most, are just God and our families and loving one another. I think it's so easy, and I catch myself all the time in getting worried about money and about status and about how nice your clothes are or having the nicest things, and none of that matters, and none of that's going to actually bring us any lasting happiness. I think I learned that the things that matter most are just loving those around you and loving God and making sure that we keep our family and close friends close to us. One hard experience was one time I got kind of sick from another guy, hand, foot, and mouth disease, just kind of like a form of chicken pox, I guess. And we were stuck in the apartment for a whole week, and I was struggling with that so much because all I wanted to do was get out and work. And I remember going to the district meeting that week and just crying. I had to give an insight. I just cried and talked about how sad I was. But I remember I found peace in my patriarchal blessing, saying that there will be missionary work to do at home. There's always missionary work to do. And I found peace knowing that the joy I felt sharing the gospel doesn't have to stay within just those 2 years, but we can always share it. I remember we were teaching this one investigator, and I had been in my mission, it was a little over 6 months, and I was training this new elder. So I hadn't been there that long. My Fijian wasn't like that great, and he didn't know any Fijian. And we were teaching this guy, and we were getting him ready for baptism, and we found out he'd been smoking, and that he'd been smoking since he was 14, and he was about 50 at this time. So he had this addiction to smoking for most of his life. And one night he asked us to give him a blessing, and I asked if I could give it in English because I felt like I could be more inspired if I could do so, and he said yes if he could do it in Fijian because he didn't know any English. So we gave him a blessing, and ever since then he never smoked again, last I heard. He was baptized, and it was amazing. It was amazing to see the power of the priesthood to help him to leave something that he'd been trying to leave for 35 years. And right then and there, with God's help, all things are possible. And just really strengthened my testimony of that, and seeing him be able to change and do the things that God wants him to do. Because God will help us. He never gives us a commandment that we can't do. So we want a lot of short sleeve white shirts if you're an elder. Bring at least 1 or 2 long sleeve shirts so you can keep them nice to wear to meetings and stuff and wear home. Um, get some really durable sandals. I like Keen's a lot. Keen makes a really good pair of sandals, but you're gonna need something that you're gonna walk in and that can get wet all the time and be soaked because you're gonna be wet all the time. Um, I think that's it because you're gonna buy your Sulus and all that stuff in Fiji. So yeah, just don't overpack.